Hey everybody, Matt here with Halloween Daily News, and we are truly living in an extraordinary time for the Halloween industry. And I'm not just talking about all of the high profile, highly anticipated Halloween movies that are going to be released just in the next few months. Stuff like Halloween Ends and Hocus Pocus 2 and Terrifier 2 and many others. I'm talking about the Halloween industry as a whole itself. In 2021, the Halloween industry generated more than $10.14 billion. And by all accounts, this year is going to be even bigger. If it feels like more has been revealed and announced earlier than ever this year, it's not just your imagination. It's not just that we're doing a kick-ass job covering it all. It's that it's really happening. More masks, costumes, decor, animatronics, haunt events, films than ever before. And you can see this clearly in our coverage in recent weeks of all of the new 2022 products coming to the Home Depot and Lowe's stores, many of which are already on sale online. Meanwhile, Spirit Halloween, who has more or less dominated this industry for decades now, they have played it pretty quiet here in recent weeks, offering up only a few cryptic teaser videos and teasing a new page on their website, spirithalloween.com/experiment1031, where you will find a countdown culminating this Wednesday, July 20th, if my math is right, around 10 a.m. Most recently, I hope you saw our unboxing this past Wednesday. We were surprised when Spirit sent us a box. Technically, it was from J. Reaper Laboratories. That's what all the products were labeled, and that's what was listed on the return address. And what we found in there were a number of mysterious items, all labeled with the J. Reaper Laboratories label, and we even got a stamp with that as well. Among those items, though, was this notebook and a pencil and some instructions that included to record anything that we hear that might be weird or suspicious on our wireless Spirit Halloween orange and black headphones, which were also included in our mystery box. If you didn't get a chance to watch that unboxing, I did put the link to it in the description of this video if you want to check it out. There were some other cool items in there that you can help us decipher all of the different meanings. But since I did that unboxing, I've been listening to the headphones just regularly throughout the week, using them like I would my normal earphones. I've never actually owned a pair of wireless, so this has been awesome for me. On Friday evening, something unexpected did happen. Spirit Halloween sent us a message. They DM'd us on Instagram. And in truth, this isn't the first time they've done this. We kind of have that kind of relationship. But I was surprised to get this. What came through were actually two messages. The first is a screenshot of a podcast called Stuff They Don't Want You to Know, and specifically an episode about the tale of the University Six. And then that was followed up by a text message reading skeleton approved listening with a skull emoji. So, of course, I had to check out this podcast, right? Because, well, Spirit sent it, and I'll play along. This is obviously some viral marketing that they're having a lot of fun with this year, stepping up even what they did in 2021. You'll remember they sent us a similar mystery box with clues of that year's theme. It turned out to be a Halloween factory theme. You can still see some of my Spirit popcorn up there in my popcorn box. But this year, it is clearly going to be a laboratory theme. And we've uncovered what we believe is even more evidence that it's not just any laboratory. This is a laboratory where some really awful, horrible, terrible things took place. And we know a little bit more about it now, thanks to this particular episode of Stuff They Don't Want You to Know. I put a link to that episode in the description of this video as well if you want to check it out. I'm going to play a portion of it in just a second, but let me first just back up and tell you what we know so far about Spirit Halloween and their 2022 animatronics reveals. First up, you'll remember weeks ago, marking the halfway to Halloween point, Spirit released their first official 2022 teaser video. It came in the form of what appears to be a VHS recording, and it's got all kinds of weird sounds and imagery. We did a whole breakdown on the day it was released. The one bit of concrete information we were able to get from it is that the final frame includes an important date, and that is 7/30/22, and that has since been confirmed to be the opening day of Spirit's flagship store. It will open on Saturday, July 30th. A hidden page on Spirit's website, spirithalloween.com/experiment1031, was soon discovered, and a second teaser video was found there where we see the date of the video, that it was apparently recorded, according to the timestamp, on June 6th, 1994. And here on this page, you can also see that there is a countdown counting down to this Wednesday, July 20th. And that's where everything stood after our unboxing on Wednesday until we received these DMs from Spirit on Friday evening, directing us to a particular episode about the tale of the University Six on the Stuff They Don't Want You to Know podcast. So I checked out the episode over the weekend. So right off the bat, at the very top of the episode, it's announced that this particular episode is brought to you in partnership with, and then we don't hear the name of who it's in partnership with. The audio actually cuts to static, which immediately, considering the source of why I'm listening to this podcast, made me think of all those instances of static within the Spirit Halloween teaser clips that they've released here in the last few weeks. And I immediately assumed that this particular episode is being brought to listeners in partnership with Spirit Halloween, in fact, and that's the name that has been, for all intents and purposes, redacted at this point in the audio of this podcast. And what the episode is about the history of mental health in America, and more specifically, how mental health was dealt with many, many years ago in asylums, and specifically abandoned asylums, and the many real-life horror stories that are based around these horrific institutions that are a part of a very dark part of this country's history. And the hosts of the podcast, they spend much of the first part of the episode talking about the very real history of mental health. And, it's very different in days past than how it is today in 2022, where this is a topic that is in the front of the headlines everywhere you look today, and rightfully so. 100 years ago and before that, that definitely was not the case. People were put into asylums and locked away, mostly against their will, very often for things that we wouldn't even necessarily term mental health today. And if they were for legit mental health reasons, often it was society's view at that time to just put them out of sight, out of mind, lock them away in these asylums, and not think about them anymore. So this was very real. The hosts then begin to focus on one specific asylum. It is called the Homestead School and Hospital, and it is located in Pennsylvania, and they say that it would come to be known as the Black Castle. Now, at this point, I'll go ahead and tell you, I did do a brief Google search for Homestead School and Hospital, the Black Castle in Pennsylvania, just to see how much of this is based on reality. And again, while I've not done an exhaustive dive into researching this topic, from a few minutes on Google, it does not appear that this is an actual facility that existed. Unless maybe somebody wiped it from Google, that would take a lot of time and dedication. Or maybe this is all an elaborate viral marketing campaign by Spirit Halloween to promote the upcoming reveal of their 2022 lineup of animatronics and the theming that you're going to see when you go through the Spirit stores. And, they always have those great displays of the animatronics, and there's always some interesting theming going on. Last year, it was the Halloween Factory. Well, if we didn't know that it was going to be a laboratory, here's yet more evidence that this laboratory is not just any laboratory, because this podcast goes on to explain about the Black Castle, that there was a rumored laboratory at the Black Castle, at this asylum, and there were just some horrible experiments done there under the guise of being treatments for patients, when in reality it was truly just torture performed on prisoners, because most of these patients were in no way there by choice. They say the asylum eventually erupted in a horrible fire where most of the patients were tragically killed because, again, they were locked in their rooms and not allowed to leave. So when that fire broke out, you can imagine how horrible it must have been. The asylum was then reportedly abandoned, left to become the stuff of urban legend for locals in Pennsylvania, according to these podcast hosts and the story that they're telling, until the mid-1990s, when a group of 6 history students from a local university wanted to do a film project and discover what truly happened at the Black Castle. And so they went out there to the site to investigate and were never heard from again. I know, it sounds a lot like the Blair Witch Project, right? Well, if you've seen these video clips that Spirit has released so far, they too have a bit of a Blair Witch feel. Now, here's where it all starts to come together, because the hosts received a different package than what I got. They got a package including some stills, which they describe, and 2 video clips, which they play on their podcast. Now, I'm going to play you the audio from the 2 clips right now. And what you're going to hear within these audio clips are the tiny bits of audio that we hear spliced together in those very brief Spirit teasers, bringing all this together. So do like I did, put on your headphones, crank up the volume, and listen to this.
Is this thing on?
Trees look nice. Too bad we have to spend all weekend digging through some old junk.
It's called research, Emily. You know, you have a 4.0 and are pretty much a genius, but don't waste the battery on that thing.
I am documenting our research. Duh. Look at this place. It's Creep City in here.
It's not that bad.
Are we early?
Doesn't sound like that. Let's find the rest of the class.
And they claim to have also received a second video clip. Here's the audio from that one.
I barely see where I'm going.
What was that?
What is it? You okay?
Something grabbed at me.
We've only been here for 5 minutes and you're freaked out already? Is it freezing in here?
What was that?
And at one point, the hosts even describe seeing a humanoid shape that they describe looking almost like a clown with a big bulbous nose, one of them even says. And it should also be noted that in the closing moments of this episode, actually after their credits, one of the guys receives a second package with no return address. So this is obviously to be continued, and I'll be listening to their follow-up episode when it drops, I'm guessing, in the next few days. All right, so there's a couple things we can definitely pull from this. First of all, Spirit Halloween has seriously stepped up their marketing game in 2022. I mean, I thought it was impressive last year, the lengths they went to hype up their reveal of all of their new releases. But the lengths they have gone this year to create this backstory and mythology surrounding what is essentially going to be how they will display and present their new 2022 releases, it's mind-blowing. I mean, I've not really seen anything marketed on a viral level to this extent outside of, like, Hollywood movies and stuff on that level. So to say I'm impressed with that is an understatement. And the other thing I think that we know for sure from all of this is that something big is happening this Wednesday, July 20th. I mean, obviously, it's going to be a big day here at the channel anyway, but something big specifically with Spirit Halloween is happening on Wednesday, July 20th, and we're going to be here to cover it all and everything else going on this week. It's going to be a busy couple days, exciting couple days. I am going to turn it over to you guys now. This is what I know so far. This is what I've uncovered. Let me hear your thoughts, your theories, your guesses, and what you yourself might have uncovered in your own investigations. Spirit is really leaving us a lot of breadcrumbs here, and I know I've only just touched the surface, but hey, it wouldn't be fun if you guys couldn't play along a little bit as well, too, right? All right. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I can't wait to hear from you. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the excitement coming this week right here to the HDN YouTube channel. You're not going to want to miss any of it. I promise you that. Until then, I'm Matt Arts for Halloween Daily News. Thank you for watching.